Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis, with my amazing, super spiffy co-host, Phil. What is going on with you and your bow tie? Tell me all about it.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, Chantel.
Right. It's St. Patrick's Day. Did you have green beer today?
I have not had green beer, but I have had some alcohol. So there we go.
Oh, so this is going to be fun.
Not that much. Not that much.
I mean, I used to work at many bars and restaurants. And so one bar that I used to work at in Montreal called Winnie's. So it's part of this huge Sir Winston Churchill complex. It had 3 different floors. Stuff was always happening. So St. Patrick's Day was usually a big day. And so I remember just one. Okay, this is 2 stories. So one story is like I used to always compete with people to see if I could do more Irish car bombs than somebody else, and so we'd always have these like these competitions. And one time I'm doing this with this one guy, and he looks kind of young, but he's like, "I can out car bomb you." I'm like, "No, you can't." So we're doing it. We're doing like car bomb, yeah, car bomb, like full car bombs. Like you know what a car bomb is, right? Irish car bomb. Oh wait, you're muted.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry.
That's okay. And so then I just see his eyes just kind of like glaze over and his soul like leaves his body basically. And he covers his head and he looks panicked and he barfs. And it just like the entire car bomb, just like shrapnel was just like everywhere, all over my bar, all over my computer. I got like splatter on my face. Like this guy puked his car bomb on me. And this was at like 11 a.m. So like that was one of my incidents. And then one time I was working like the night shift. So that day I was working the day shift, and this time I was working the night shift. And when I came to work, I had to step over green barf on the stairs. I'm like, it's 3 p.m. Like, why am I already stepping over green barf on the stairs? So those are my experiences with
Your
Green
favorite
Day,
memories.
we'll say. Patty's Day, yes. Car bombs and puke. Did you have an Irish car bomb today?
I did not have that today.
Irish
I
whiskey.
think there was a bit of whiskey, yes.
Ooh. Hello, Diva. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the green hearts. So festive. Love it. What is up, Les? Thank you for being here. We're just sharing some St. Patty's Day stories. I also had a friend, his name was Patrick, and he thought that the St. Patty's Day parade and like any festivities was actually for him for his birthday.
How old was he?
Well, he stopped believing that probably when he was like 10, but like when he was younger, he thought it was a celebration for his name and like, oh, it's for me, like because I'm Patrick. Very cute. But we're not here to talk about St. Patty's Day. We're here to talk about Survivor, your favorite reality TV show, I believe, right?
Yeah, I mean, I go back and forth between that and The Race, but I mean, I've been watching since the very first episode. I still remember it, and I remember being excited about hearing about it before it came out. So, yeah, it's been a long time.
I'm with you. I remember the exact moment where I was watching it. I was, oh my God, I can't believe I was working at a bar at that point, and like I remember it was a Wednesday night, if I'm not mistaken, and it was salsa night, and so it wasn't busy yet at that time. Like people usually came at around 9 or something like that. So like I was just sitting on the stool outside the bar watching the TV, and I'm like, what is this show? Like, what is this? And so then I was like, I heard like 1 survival, like 1 million, like I whatever the whole phrase was, and I was like, wait, what? They live on an island for $1 million? Like, what is this? And so I watched and I was like, this is amazing. And I was hooked, and I watched every single episode since then. Yeah, I was in. I was in it. I was like, give it to me. And what's really funny, I don't know if I told you this before, but at that time, I was kind of like mad at Richard Hatch at the end because I was like, I didn't really agree with alliances. I thought that was kind of cheating at the time. And I was like, whatever. You're not supposed to be able to do that, like hack the system. And now like I'm only about alliances, you know what I
Right.
mean? And
Like, could
strategy.
you imagine? There's no way that Survivor would be at this point if the
Strategy didn't come in.
Pagong people who had no strategy ended up winning the game. Like, it would never have got there. But yeah, I mean, it's funny to think what that first season that alliance did.
It
Like,
definitely,
yeah,
like, I was still not super into this whole alliance thing. I still was like, you got to be like honorable, and it had to be like you have to do the fair way, and you know what I mean. I still had that mindset, and it wasn't until Boston Rob came along where he started talking about
right,
the strategy, and I was like obsessed with him. I thought he was so cute. I was like, oh my God, like you make this game really interesting and really fun. And I'm like, oh my God, you can actually dictate what happens in the game. And so I was so intrigued by people being able to use themselves in this game to be able to win and win $1 million in the
right,
end. And so Boston Rob really did open up my eyes to the strategy side of the game. And he made me fall in love with the game even more, not just for entertainment, but for strategy. So that's probably why
nice,
I love Boston Rob so much, because he really was my introduction to the strategy of things.
nice. Yes. And
For
was that
me
the
anyway.
first time he played, or was that an All Stars?
The first time that he played, I was like obsessed
The
with
first
him. I
time he
remember
played.
he
Okay.
maybe hit me with some card references, maybe. I can't remember now. Like, obviously, this was like over 20
Right.
years ago, or about 20 years ago. But like, I just remember thinking that I wanted him to win so badly. And like, I can't remember how it all happened, but then he got blindsided, I think it was, or shot. I can't remember. I can't remember the storyline. But I just
Yeah.
remember I wanted him to win so badly. And I think I need to watch that season again, because I didn't think that Vecepia deserved to win, but it was probably because I was so wanted Rob to win. And so I should watch it
Right.
again and see it from a new perspective, like not as somebody that's just like fangirling, but as
Yeah,
somebody
I've watched
that
it a couple. I've watched it a couple times, and I'm just like, that's the first season where there is this clear alliance at the beginning that you see form, and then they make a mistake, and the outsiders all come together and take out that alliance, that row 2-4, I think that's what they were called, and they take them out, and I really got behind Kathy. Like, she this close to winning. I really got behind Kathy. I thought that she was a wonderful player. But yeah, all those old episodes, old seasons are so great.
I love the old season, but I have been enjoying this particular season. Um,
Yes.
I mean, it hasn't become overwrought with all these like advantages yet. So I think that it's just kind of pure storytelling, like just seeing people, doing things out of their comfort zone. So I'm enjoying this slow progression. I'm hoping that everything's not just going to be wiped away by stupid advantages and stuff like that. So I'm still
Right.
hopeful for the season. I think that it's a stronger season so far than 41.
I like it better than 41 already. I think, and I honestly, I think I said this last week. Like, when I saw who the cast was, I was like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna like this season, and I'm loving this cast. This is a great cast.
Me too. Hi, DM Rocks. Happy St. Patty's Day to you as well. Hi, CD. Thanks for being here. Hello, Roxanne. Okay, so Les wants to know who are both
Ooh,
of our favorite male and female Survivor winners.
winners. Ooh.
I mean, I have to
Uh,
say, well, I'm going to stick with Boston Rob for the fact that he was the one that really opened my eyes to the game and made me love it in a new way. And I think that seeing the game through his eyes allowed me to stay on board for 20 years. You know what I mean? Like, I might have fallen off if I
right.
didn't get involved in the strategy of it. I might have been like, I'm good. But he really opened my eyes to that side of the game, and that's what I love the most about it now. So, Boston Rob, who do you
Nice.
got
Okay.
for
Yeah.
male?
For male, I'm trying to think about, like, when I watched the season, like, if there was something that I really got excited about winning, and I actually, even though they've come back, and I really haven't really enjoyed them when they've come back and played. I really, the first time around, really liked JT. I thought he played such a good game. I think he got like all the votes in the end, and he did really well. And I don't know, there was just something about him that I liked the way that he was playing the game. That side came from like 3 against 7, I think it was, at the merge, and they found a way to get to the end. And so I like that. I like token teams that season. It's a season 18. It's a bit, people don't give it as much credit, but it's a good season. So I think that would probably be the one guy that I really got being Todd from China. I remember really liking Todd, cheering for him because he had Canadian. He had a bit of a Canadian background as well. So, yeah.
I also like male wise. I also really like Tyson, but I think I just love his personality. He's just a favorite person of mine. I don't know if he's like top winner, but like he's going to be on Survivor or on the Challenge CBS, and so I'm like so excited to see how he plays now, like in his 40s. That'll be fun.
Right.
I also obviously I really like Kim Spradlin. Support these Aquarius. Todd is also in Aquarius, so support them for sure. And I love Sandra. I mean, just being reminded of her personality and her style of gameplay. Just seeing her on Australian Survivor this season, I just like she's just so entertaining, and she's somebody that you want to root for, even if she does kind of mean things sometimes. Like you're just on her side, you're rooting for her, you want her to do well. So like throw his hat in the fire, yes. Like anybody else would be like, that's bullying, don't do that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I really like Sandra as well. I think that she's just such a great character, and it's awesome to see her play.
I like those players that are good with the camera. They have those funny lines. They make the audience laugh. Like they're not just playing, but like they say things to the camera, and like you feel part of their game because they're making fun of people and stuff. Sandra, I mean, I've loved Sandra since the first time that she played. I'd have to also. I love Parvati. When I met Parvati. I love Parvati. I think that she is just as charming in real life as she is on the show, and I can totally see how she can wrap anybody around her finger. And then you mentioned Kim, and Kim for a season which had really a bad cast. She was such a star in what Survivor's about, and she played it really well. So. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of good winners. I mean, I think that's why we all enjoyed Winners at War, because there were so many good winners that were playing that season. So I think that unlike Big Brother, where I don't like most of the winners, like Survivor winners, I like most of them, I would say. A majority of the people, I'm like, yeah, I'm into it.
It's funny. I recently, Ron and I, we wrote out all the Big Brother winners. And as you write them out, you're like, yeah, I don't really like this person. Don't like this person. I think for me, it went all the way back to June in season 4 of Big Brother. And I was like, I really have not liked any of these winners.
No, I know. There's not like nobody. I mean, maybe Casey's okay, but like,
yeah.
And I guess, nobody else. Like, I love Dr. Will. I guess I loved Dan, original season. Back then I thought that Evil Dick deserved to win, but like I'm not really a big fan of his now. So there's maybe like 5 winners that I'm like I'm okay with, and everybody else I'm just like
I tend to be that like person that like I like that like 3rd place, 4th place person that like
usually Rob got it.
Oh, I wish they got it. Yes.
The Janelles of the season. So DM Rock says, I'm thinking about applying for Survivor. I'm a huge fan of the show. Plus, I ran into a Survivor player yesterday at the mall where I live. Well, I think that is an omen for you to get your tape in. There's a lot of Survivors that have their tapes on YouTube. So if you want to take a look at what they have submitted that got them in front of the casting people, I would definitely suggest doing it, even if it's just to practice, you know what I mean? Like just to be extroverted and go for something that you're interested in participating in. I 100% support that. I work as an actor, so I audition all the time, and I think it's a really good way just to get over nervousness, get over like feeling a little bit self-conscious. Like it's something that you want, that you're passionate about. I say 100%. I say go for it. So I completely
Go for
support
it.
your dream to do that. 100%.
And remember reality realness.
Yes, I want to be your first interview. Okay, Boston Rob didn't evolve. He was bad at Winners at War. I mean, I don't know if I agree with that, to be honest. I mean, I don't think that any of the old school players were able to play in this new school era because A, they're outnumbered, and B, like they didn't have to worry about idols and stuff like that. Like it's just not the style of gameplay that they are used to. For the most part, like it was just kind of a basic game where you just like number strategy, like and getting alliances together. But now having to worry how to avoid the booby trap, it's a little bit more difficult for people that are not used to that type of gameplay. Like I don't think I would be good at avoiding all these booby traps, but I think I'm good at the basic game of Survivor, like the heart of it. But all the old school players failed, right? Poverty also wasn't somebody that was great at some Winners at War. I think the biggest trouble that happened was the fact that Rob and Sandra had a falling out. I think that also really didn't help either of their games because, Sandra immediately wanted to go against the old school numbers and take out Amber and all that stuff. And so I think that if he didn't have that beef because of the fact that he didn't tell Sandra that he was going to be on Winners at War, like she was mad at him for lying to her. And so if that didn't happen, I think that they would have had a better chance. But Sandra was a little bit bitter about that. And I'd have to say, Sandra getting duped by what's her name?
Denise.
That's I would say that's a worse move than Boston Rob.
Well, you know me. When we have some players, we agree to disagree on. I kind of feel with Boston.
Go ahead.
I kind of agree here with CD Mac that Boston Rob, like I'm rewatching Winners at War, and there's that scene when they do the swap, and he's not letting them go, and the whole all the time he's on it, he does have this like old school, new school, and I think some of the old school people should have just said, "Look, I'm not with Rob. I want to play my own game," because he took that leadership role of the old schoolers. He was looked at as the leader of them all, and it was like they got into a problem because it was so easy for them to go, okay, well, let's just take out all the old schoolers. They should have divided up and went and grabbed some other people that they could have said, well, if we're old schoolers, you're season 23, you should be an old schooler. Like they should try and get all those. So it was an interesting season.
Yeah, I can see your point though with him not being flexible in his style of gameplay. But
he likes to be in control.
Yeah, but I think that's his personality. He's a Capricorn. Capricorns are the managers. They control stuff. So, but they're fiercely loyal and they play hard. So that I can agree with that his personality wasn't malleable for 42. Sorry.
Whereas Sandra, like as much as like she did make a big mistake, but she did find a way to get in. Like she was with Tony and with Sarah, and she did find there were other. Yule was wanting to work with her in that part. Like they were trying to make Nick was wanting to work with her. Like she was able to get in there,
but her desire to be too flashy and to be
too flashy that cost her. Yeah, she had her own thing.
But similar though, because it's like she loves making those like kind of flash moves. So I think both of them didn't fully evolve then, maybe to completely adapt. But yeah, I actually see both of your points though. So people are falling in love with season 42. I mean, I don't know what it would be like as a new watcher. I have no idea. Tyson, Poverty, Sandra. Oh my God, I love Sari, but she wasn't a winner. But Suri is definitely amazing. I'm really hoping. So I'm going to be going to New York in May because Rob as a podcast is having a live know-it-alls. So I will be
Nice.
going there, and Wendell and Bryce will be having a pre-party the day before. So I may have an
Nice.
opportunity to meet a bunch of different survivors, which would be really fun. Definitely will meet Wendell. I'll definitely meet Bryce in person.
Have you done that
And
before?
I've
Or
never
no?
done the live know-it-alls. No.
Okay, yes, because I went, Ron and I went in 2015 or 2014 to, it was the roast of Rob Sesternino. It was like a
Oh,
comedy show. But then they had all these people doing the roasting him. And so they had Parvati, Aris was there, Tyson. Um, Sophie was like the hit. Sophie was like, you would not, her dry sense of humor, like everybody was loving it. She was really good at roasting. Abby Maria was there, drunk as a skunk. It was wonderful. And it was just so good. We got to meet like old players that weren't on stage, but we went to a party after. We met like Julie Berry, and it was
was
wonderful. So
Julie? That
you're
was
gonna you're gonna
the
have a
girl that used to
blast.
date Jeff Probst, right?
Yes. Oh, and we talked about it with her.
Oh my god, she's had sex with Jeff. Hilarious and amazing. Yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to that because, like, when I got involved with Rob as a podcast, it was when the world shut down, and so this is my first opportunity of really wanting to make the effort to go. I've always had the intentions
Yeah.
of going, and like sometimes it was in Toronto, and I was like, oh, I saw my brother's birthday or something. You know what I mean? Something happened, and so I wasn't able to go to a couple of these events that have been here in Toronto at least.
Yeah.
And then obviously everything shut down. So I'm really excited. It'll be my first time in New York as an adult, which will also be fun. I think JoJo is going to join me there, and my best friend
Nice.
Anna. Anna's probably not going to come to the Survivor stuff, but like she definitely is going to come to New York, and we might go see some Broadway stuff or whatever during the day.
Wonderful.
So yeah, I'm really excited about maybe meeting some survivors and
Wonderful.
telling you guys
Well,
all
we'll
about it.
go
Taking some
sometime
pictures.
too.
Say again.
We'll go sometime as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm totally like into going. So Adrian, hi Adrian. Adrian likes you'll who's that? Oh, women, Vesepia, Sandra, and Natalie. I really like Natalie Anderson as
Natalie, yeah.
well. Absolutely. I really enjoyed her. I enjoyed her and her sister when they were on The Amazing Race. I was so pumped when they came to Survivor, and even more pumped when they came over to the challenge. Well, Natalie did anyways. And so now I don't know if you heard about this, but there's going to be the challenge workouts that are going to be on YouTube, and I believe Natalie is going to have her own little like YouTube, like the challenge workout or something, some sort of feature. So that's something to
Good
look
luck,
forward
everybody.
to.
She's tough. She
Yeah,
she can keep up. She's strong.
she's strong, real strong. Wendell, just got a big crush. Okay, well, I'm
Ooh.
gonna take a picture with Wendell just to make you jelly. Yes, definitely. You have everybody has these good picks, but like I totally think, hi Hamza, that there's a lot of very, very worthy and great winners. Okay, back to 42. Marianne fans. That was a close one. Yes, it was. Are you? I mean, I'm sure you are, but are you a fan of Marianne?
Of course I am. She's not only great TV, but she's like, we haven't had a Marianne like this. Like this is great. She's so funny, and the whole this season, this episode with the Zach love, like it was just great. It was so nice.
Definitely, definitely. So we're gonna get more into Marianne here. So let's get into this episode. So we start off at the Ica tribe, and we see that Tori was sad that it was Zach. And I thought this was a weird confessional that she kind of thought that she was going home. So like she was kind of like okay with going home because she wouldn't have to be suffering out there anymore. But then she also realized that this was her dream, and she says that her opportunity without her dream. So I was kind of surprised by this because it's day 3. How did you feel about this confession? Did you clock it?
I guess she was in more trouble than I thought she was. It seemed like especially after we saw the votes for Zach, like it seemed pretty cut and dry. So, I mean, maybe because he kind of was targeting her. Maybe it was just that target on there. But Yeah, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure her out a bit. She's a little. I love her rolling her eyes and her sarcasm. She's how I probably would be out there with not being able to handle people. But I don't know how long she's going to be there.
She's definitely not likable enough to make really close friendships, it seems. I'm not
Yeah,
sure what she's like in her regular life, but she does have some sort of it's a slightly polarizing vibe around her that's just like not warm, open, and friendly. You know what I mean? And so
yeah,
I think that she's definitely very useful to the tribe right now. Where that she's strong, she's young, she's youthful, and she's good at the challenges. Um, but I can also see that if they lose, that nobody's going to be that upset about losing her.
yeah.
You know?
She seems like a very individual player. Like
Yeah.
I just don't really see her really being true to a group of people. Like I see her playing for herself, and yeah, but I was going to say, but like I mean, she is. I think somebody is saying she's good TV. She is good TV. Every time she rolls her eyes, I'm serious. I agree with why she's rolling her eyes. I was just like, why are you rolling your eyes? Like basically letting everybody see that you're upset. Like that's the confusing part.
Yeah, I mean, like hold that in like at tribe life, please, Tori. She definitely seemed to rein it in a little bit better on sequester, but it could be
Right.
because of the elements, you know what I mean? Being outside, being a little bit more miserable, your true self is going to come out a lot more quickly than living in a nice house. And you know what I mean? It's only for a couple of days, like it's like for like a week, I think is how long sequester is. And so I think it's just a little bit of a cushier lifestyle that maybe we didn't get to see her sass as
Right.
quickly.
Right.
Over at Green Tribe, that team, we see Chanel and Jenny find a hermit crab. Hai is vegan and he doesn't really want to partake in eating the hermit crab. So I don't believe that you are vegan or anything like that. But how would you feel about
Yeah.
eating a random crab on an island? Would you do it?
Oh gosh, without a doubt. I don't know why I wouldn't. I would want to do that because I would love the experience of doing it, not just because I need to eat, but yeah, no, you got to eat out there when you're playing Survivor. That's important.
Like I totally agree with you. Like for me, like I'm veganish because sometimes I eat fish. For the most part, though, I don't consume animal products. And you know, one of the reasons why I don't personally is because I just don't want to contribute to like the mass
Right.
production of all these foods and just so many animals getting slaughtered and all that stuff. So that's the reason why I just choose to just try to limit my footprint in that area. So if I was going on Survivor, I'd be like, I'm not contributing to like you know the mass slaughtering of animals here. I'm surviving, and so
Yeah.
definitely appreciate anybody say that has a farm and they use and even animals on their farm to feed the family. Like, of course, I support that, and so I definitely would partake in
Yeah.
eating the crab. And even if they killed another animal, I wouldn't pull a Kimmy. I would eat the chicken. I would on
Yeah.
Survivor. I would.
I mean, that's what it sort of went into my head was okay. Thank God he nipped this in the bud, right? Like pretty much right away because he was getting a little emotional about it, which I understand. But you don't want people looking at you as the person that's going to be like, I no, I'm gonna have morals and I can't do this and I'm against everybody that is and coming across that
No.
way because it's too early for that and you don't have those bonds and if people go that's a little weird you're in trouble
I
like
don't know about the goat
you're gonna
a
get
goat, though. The goat might be a bit much for me because I don't particularly enjoy goat in general. It's a bit
right.
goaty. It's like gamey, like a goat. It tastes like goat. I know it's very traditional in like Jamaican food, like Jamaican curry goat.
Yes.
And like my
Oof.
mom's made like my mom doesn't eat meat anymore, but like back when she did, like I've had it before many times and like I'm not a fan. Actually maybe I would eat it just because
I
it's
like it.
ah, eat that goat. Eat it. Get your
Give me the
goat.
goat, give me the lamb, I'll eat it.
Happy St. Patty's Day. But Hyde does in the end, he decides that he's going to eat it. it tastes good and he feels good, but he also feels guilty about it at the same time. So
Yeah,
I'm happy
yeah,
that he did just, allowed himself to partake in that, because nothing is worse than people surviving and are starving and they're eating and then feeling guilty about doing something for their own survival. So I
yeah,
definitely didn't want his feelings around veganism and animals to affect his game negatively. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
And I'm all good if you don't want to eat it and you can't. That's good, but you just can't make it an issue. And the ways of making it an issue is talking about it, making people feel guilty about it, or being upset because you're not eating and you're hungry. You just gotta
Exactly.
shut up, because if you're making an issue about the food or you're doing something different about food, like, you got to just be quiet about it. So
100%. So, yeah. And I agree with you, Hamza. He is surviving, so he shouldn't really feel guilty. So,
no.
like, it's like doing it like if it was like it's just completely taking every single animal and like you can't even finish the
Yeah,
animals that you're eating and all that stuff, like maybe then I'd have a little bit of an issue of being
yeah,
gluttonous, but like it's one hermit crab and it's like a pinch
yeah.
of like meat. Like
Yeah, like if
you're
he
good.
was like gleefully jumping on their shells and going, "Ah, I'm gonna eat these," that's a little excessive. Like, or like not even eating them, like just taking a bite and then chucking it. Like, like that's a little much.
So over at the Orange Tribe now, we have Queen Marianne with the machete. Would you be scared around Marianne and the machete?
Did you see her eyes? That was
Oh my
wonderful.
god, she's just such a full
Oh,
person. That's what I really appreciate about her. I don't know if like I would be able to. No, I think I'd be fine with her. But sometimes I get irritated by things like sounds, like if I'm a little bit tired or stuff like that. So I don't know if her being on all the time might irritate me if I was living on the island with her.
right.
So I don't know how I would react. But watching her, she is such a joy and a pleasure to see someone
Yeah.
that is just fully like living this experience, kind of like how JD was last season. Like it's just like so wide-eyed and so excited to be there. So it is quite refreshing to see somebody that's so exuberant and full of joy.
Yeah, I think myself, I don't know. I know if this was during nighttime, like going to bed time, and she was like constantly talking, I think at that moment that would be some time when I'd be like, okay, you got to turn it off because I'm ready to go to sleep. I don't know. It seemed like I felt it while we were watching it, that it was like, oh my god, she's not stopping. This is not going to be good for her. So like I could feel it. Like you're like, ooh, read the rest of the, not the room, but the rest of the island here. They're sort of giving you those looks of, are you done? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I know, because
I
like
don't know.
it does keep going, and like so fun to watch. But I can imagine some people
Yes.
it might be a little bit too much having someone at 100 all the time. Um, I guess like what would be best for Marianne's game is like keeping obviously her positivity and her excitement, but also kind of feeling how everybody else is feeling in the moment, and that's another part of being a really good social player is kind of meeting people where they're at sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's probably a little bit with age that you learn that like sometimes you could still be happy in a good mood, but if somebody is down here and is just a little bit more chill, like maybe you want to meet them at a little bit more of a chill vibe,
Yeah.
so that it's just not so glaringly obvious that there's a contrast in the level of energy that's coming out. So
Yeah.
um
Or I mean, if you want to talk, have a conversation, not a monologue. Like have an actual conversation with people. The good old, we have 2 ears, 1 mouth for a reason, Judge Judy. Like that's golden rule. So definitely make sure you're listening and letting other people talk. So
For sure. I totally agree with you there. We do get to hear that Omar is a Muslim and that he intends on praying every, like, however many times that they need to pray. And then Marianne goes and makes
yeah,
him an entire mat, which I thought was pretty amazing. Like, did she just have that when
wonderful.
laying around, or did she actually go and weave that right away? It's
Yeah, I
impressive.
know. It kind of did feel like she just, okay, hold on. And like, she like walked off and they came back because it
Survivor
felt like it was
store.
the same scene. It felt like it was still the same scene. So I was like, oh, she's got a man in the back. She's made a man.
Loved it though. It just like
Oh, great.
I thought it was a nice character building moment for both of them, and I appreciate that Omar is feeling comfortable enough to be praying during his season. So I think that that's pretty cool. I think K-Star was the first person that was praying on a reality TV show that I remember. So I thought that that was pretty powerful
I
20
think
years
so.
ago. And so the fact that there's been very few other people that have been doing that since then, I think that's pretty awesome that he is continuing to show a little bit more of that of his culture.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Love
I'm
it, and
hopeful
he's
he goes
Canadian.
far. Yeah.
I know. Oh, is he your number one pick? Yeah, I think he is.
Yes.
So Drea wants to get a girls' alliance together, and so tells Tori and Swati that she has an extra vote, and so they're like, "We can vote together. Like, let's keep the girls together." And seemingly Tori and Swati were like all in, but after Swati wants to get Drea out because she thinks it's too much power to have an extra vote. Like, who cares? It's an extra vote. Like,
Yeah.
my opinion about that is that I would be, yes, let's ride with like Drea and know where that extra vote is going and take out somebody else that doesn't want to work with us and share information with us, um rather than wanting to get out Drea for having that extra vote. What did you think about that? Because there's a lot of people that think that it was stupid, that she shouldn't have said anything. A lot of people think that it was amazing for Swati to not want to just go with the plan. So what are your thoughts?
Right. Yeah, this blue tribe confuses me. Episode one, the first day it was generational, like how they were coming together, and then when they actually lost the challenge, it sort of like exploded, and wasn't really clear onto why they went certain directions and why people were targeting who. I think she did great with Drea did great with the let's do a women's alliance. You throw those alliances out there, you try and get it. I mean, you've got a majority, 3-2. So 3-2, you don't need to be talking about extra votes at this
True.
point. So I think that she should have felt it out a little bit just to make sure that they're on before revealing that. Like, uh, I mean, I don't know if it's going to necessarily hurt her, but I think just saying that you have this other power, and I don't know, does anybody know about her other power? No, right? That hasn't
No.
been.
Mm-mm.
So
Just the one.
so I think, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I feel like she made a little bit of a mistake by revealing the power because that might scare somebody. But
What I think is going to end up happening, though,
yeah,
if Swati decides that she wants to say something about this, I can see Roxroy going over to Drea and being like, "You know what Swati's saying about you?" I can see that.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know if Swati has the social capital to be able to get everybody to turn against Drea. I just don't know if she has that finesse. But I could be wrong, but I feel like it's a bit ambitious and it's a bit early to be making such a bold move over an extra vote that she's told you about. It's not like she hid you about it and then lied. Like she wants to work with you. So
right.
I agree. Always want to keep your mouth shut with the stuff that you have until you know what you can actually trust somebody. Absolutely. But I just don't think the extra vote is that big of a deal. And I wish that
Probably
Swati
not.
didn't think it was so powerful that she has an extra vote that she's planning on using with you to gain power
Right.
with you. So I thought that was a little bit not strange. I understand seeing an opportunity to make a move, but like learning information and like wanting to strike. But I don't think that it's the best move to take out Dre for her game right now.
Yeah, and this was the first time we really saw Swati and Drea uh like like talking together, like a strategy sort of thing, right? Before we saw Drea talking with Tori the episode before, and we saw Swati talking to Roxroy. So maybe there's even a little bit more. Maybe Swati and Drea aren't really communicating well, or something. So maybe it's thrown her for a little. Oh, you want to have an alliance with me? Or we didn't see that, but Who knows?
Well, I agree with this comment. So Swati is putting herself in trouble because Tori can throw her under the bus. I could see if Tori's in the hot seat at all, she would just be like, Dre, like
Yeah.
Swati wants to go against the girls' alliance and she wants to come for you. Like, you know what I mean? Like she would 100%, like, she would not hesitate to say something to Dre if she became a little bit worried about her position in the game. So yeah, I think that that might have been that also might have been a misstep for Swati for saying something to Tori so soon.
Yeah.
So we see Mike finding a beware advantage. I didn't write down what it said. Something about soccer is such a some sort of game that makes me want to cry.
I didn't.
Anyways,
It
wasn't as random as the last season's 3 clues or 3 phrases, so it was kind of something that you could make sense of saying.
Right.
I love the game of soccer. It's so something. It makes me want to cry. That's kind of normal. Like, you could just be like, yeah, we're playing soccer on the beach and whatever, and you can really slide that phrase in if you wanted to. So I thought that it was very interesting that it was so different from the other last seasons, because they were all about food, right? One was broccoli, well, one was butterflies. I guess that's not food, and then the other one was, what was the third one? I don't even remember. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't remember. I'm hopeful that this is the last.
Oh, broccoli's little trees, goats on astroturf, and butterflies, dead relatives. Got it. Yeah. And this one is about soccer and making you cry.
You know. I don't know. I don't know if they can even do these anymore now that the shows have aired. After this is aired, like, if that happens, people are going to be like on that like right away now that they've seen it on TV. But I would prefer that we don't see that. I don't really getting much out of that twist. Like,
agreed.
I don't know. I don't find it that funny or exciting.
Me either. It's just for Jeff to be like, oh, look at their.
It's a Jeff thing.
So I love the odd couple, Jonathan and Omar. We see Jonathan helping Omar open up a coconut with the machete, have a bromance. Jonathan is Omar's meat shield. He is Jonathan's brain shield. I definitely love the two of them. Never would expect them to go together. Never expected I was going to be a fan of Jonathan.
No.
Odd couple, I stand 100%.
Yeah, I'm happy that Jonathan to me is coming across more like a Malcolm than an Ozzy. I think that as much as he says he doesn't, he wants somebody to be his brain shield. I think he does have a bit of a brain in there, and I think he knows how to play this game. So Jonathan could be an interesting. There is potential there to have that type of character do really well. So it will be interesting. The problem for him will always be merge.
Yes,
and
first boot. He's
how hungry. How hungry is everybody? But if he can get some powers and make the right teams and have some numbers, who knows? He might be able to make it work, but it's going to be hard.
Everybody's coming for him at the merge. He is the merge. He's the mayor of Ponderosa. Like, he's definitely that's his seat, you know. So if he does better than that, that's going to be awesome. But I really don't see them getting rid of him before merge. But Jonathan isn't connecting really with Mariah, but we do hear Mariah's story about her brother being, he passed away as the first healthcare worker, in March 2020 out of New York, to die from COVID. So she has a necklace that has his face etched on it that she wanted to bury on Survivor, because he was always kind of encouraging her to live her dreams and do things that, pushed her to the limit. So I thought that was a nice character building moment.
Yeah, so there was something that popped into my head when she was talking about her story, and I was like, is somebody going to tell her that she needs to go bury the necklace? Because somebody needs to tell her that she's going. And so has somebody told her? So I'm hopeful
maybe a Ponderosa she can do it.
Yeah. I found her last week. You mentioned about Jackson. You were curious, as to, was that getting his story out? Was that the reason why he got casted? And I kind of when she said her story, I was like, I wonder if that was kind of a reason why she got casted, because it just, I don't know, her character just didn't, I couldn't connect her with somebody that I've seen before, and I couldn't really like get the casting of her. Like she just seemed very I don't know. She just, yeah, I didn't get her character in it. So I'm not too upset. Spoiler: I'm not too upset that she goes, because
I am.
I
She's on
just
my
kind of,
draft. I've lost 2 people so
oh
far.
well, okay, but besides the draft, like, were you getting anything
No,
that you
I
were
mean,
like,
I
oh,
think
Survivor?
all that she did in her preseason was talk about her brother's story, and so I was curious to see more from her. Maybe that, like, if
Yeah,
she was going to be super competitive, or like, you know what I mean, really good at the game, or like they used to watch together with her brother, so like she's a super fan. Like, I wanted to see more from that, and so she didn't really deliver more than the story that she already kind of told or alluded to preseason. So I definitely
yeah,
didn't see her journey kind of evolve at all, and so I didn't care for her to stay. I wasn't getting
yeah.
anything from her. I agree. I appreciate her story, and like I think it's really it's beautiful to be able to see the real
Oh,
faces of people that
oh
are
yeah,
facing adversity due to COVID. But for the game of Survivor, she wasn't giving me nothing. Nada.
yeah.
Nada. Um, so back over at, I don't know what tribe it was, with Mike. So Mike tells Jenny about the beware advantage, and then he tells Daniel about the beware advantage. Then he goes and tries to find the beware advantage, but he couldn't find where he hid the beware advantage. And like I couldn't even believe, like, I'm like, A, you're telling people, you told 2 people now that you found this, and B, you're showing them that like you're not even capable of like keeping it. Like if that were me,
Yeah,
I would just go steal this damn thing like once it's activated, you know what I mean? Because he doesn't know where it's going to be hidden. Like you're like, oh, I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't, because people would
yeah,
probably come for me. But like it's just so he's just leaving himself so wide open for people to take advantage of him and take his advantage. What did you think about Daniel though immediately telling Chanel and saying that they either want it never to be activated, so they tell him not to say the phrase. I think we were curious about that last season, whether or not they could choose to not say the phrase, and just wait until
right.
other people said it, and that's what I would have done. I would have like definitely not three challenges in a row say this phrase. Like I would just like wait until I heard it twice. Um, and so, yeah, what did you think about Daniel wanting to nullify basically the beware advantages?
Well, I mean, it wasn't going to be something that he was going to get to have for. So I think trying to find a way to get rid of it is a very smart idea. Um, do we know, like, if he gets voted, Mike gets voted out before it becomes activated? Like, will they rehide it, like, for
Yeah, they might
somebody else
rehide
to
it.
find? Okay, like, so actually, then Daniel's way of keeping it with Mike, but then like convincing Mike not to do it, I mean, that's huge. It takes 3 idols out of the game. Like,
And see,
that would
that's
be
the thing.
huge.
What I love about superfans is they want to mitigate all these stupid advantages. So like I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
that that is what the objective is to take away all these extra variables so we can like I can play an optimal game. So I love that,
Yeah.
because like that's what I would probably want to do. I'd rather not have an idol in play than have 3, right? So
Yeah. What I find interesting that I've noticed in the actually the last couple seasons of Survivor is you don't want to tell people about things that you have, but if you find out that somebody else has something and you tell somebody else, that's how you join somebody. That's how you get somebody on your side, because if you can get them together and be, you've got a target because they've got a power, you've got a common enemy. And it's just so interesting because you would think, oh, I've got a power, I'm going to bond everybody, but then it really just gets people together behind your back.
Adrian is letting us know here that Mariah said in an exit interview that she didn't bury the necklace on the island because she felt that it wasn't the right time or place, but she got everything after this.
Nice. Good.
Okay, good. Um, Mariah's confessional gave me Tina back in Panama Exile Island when she talked about her son before she
Yeah.
went out to play. I do not remember that. It's like very,
Yeah.
very foggy.
So Tina was the lumberjill on Exile Island. She went early. It was between her and Suri, and at Suri's first season when they were like, Suri was afraid of the leaves, but then Suri made a gameplay and got the other people to take up the strong lumberjill, which was Tina. But she was very quiet and isolated herself quite a bit because her son had just died. She was actually supposed to be, I think, on Survivor Guatemala, and then her son like died like right away, and she still was grieving with Exile Island.
I don't know.
She was a good character, but yeah, it you know, if it went that way, we wouldn't have never had Suri come back. So can you imagine Survivor without Suri? Oh my gosh.
No, she's definitely a staple. she's on the Mount Rushmore, I think.
That's
she's
right.
kind of winner. So we get to the immunity challenge. It's also going to be for rewards. So it's going to be a large and smaller fishing gear. And basically, we learned at the beginning that Zach being voted out of the game really upset Marianne because it was her Survivor crush. What did you think about this? And my heart broke when she has said that she has 100% rejection rate. I was like, oh, sweet angel Marianne, like you will find someone that is going to love you for you. But it was just so heartbreaking to hear that. But at least she's still really positive about it.
I think she's going to have a lot of people banging on the door. I like, honestly, with Survivor. So be careful. They're not all going to be winners, but choose properly, Marianne, and have self-confidence because she's got a great personality and just, I think she's a lovely girl. Fun to watch. I thought the Zach thing with her, it was funny. It was kind of like when Billy fell in love with Candace, but nobody, like, Candace didn't even know Billy, like, like it was kind of like out of the blue. Like, how do you base that on anything but, I guess, physical attraction? Like, there's no, like, you haven't even really talked to this person. How do you know?
She says she likes little young white boys.
That's right. So
very cute though. And Jeff was eating it up, like hearing her talk on and on about Zach and him being over at Ponderosa. Well, I guess
Jeff loves it when people talk to him.
Yes,
because you know the Survivor big time fans, they know better than to talk to Jeff. Keep it quiet. So he loves it when people are open and tell him what's going on.
So this immunity challenge is pretty common, where you have a caller on each of the tribes. Everybody's paired up and blindfolded, and they kind of have to stumble through obstacles to get, in this case, puzzle pieces to bring back. Once they get all the puzzle pieces back, then the caller can come down and lead them to a puzzle board, and then two people blindfolded are going to take care of the puzzle. So what I thought was really interesting is, so Jonathan, makes sense that he has a big booming voice. He was one of the callers. Also, Lydia was a caller, and who was the last person? I wrote it down, but I can't see my writing right now. Who was the third caller? Drea.
Tori?
So, okay,
Drea.
These were all the callers, and this still all comes down to the puzzle people. So, people being good at doing the puzzle doesn't necessarily need to be blindfolded, right? Like, so I thought that was a big misstep because I don't believe that Jonathan is actually good at puzzles, because they were in the lead for most of this challenge, and then they failed at the puzzle part because Jonathan, it seemed, wasn't good at directing them on how to put together the puzzle. So what did you think about this particular challenge, and who was the caller, et cetera, and how it all went down?
Yeah, I mean, for a blindfold challenge, I found it on a more, I mean, there was a number of steps, but I found it was a little bit of an easier course than we've seen with some of the blindfold challenges. And compared to last episode's challenge, which was intense, like that was great. So I wish it had a little bit more to it that was a little bit harder. I do feel that Jackson was set up in a way to have enough time for the puzzle, but
Jonathan.
because I mean, sorry, Jonathan. But yeah, I mean, when he was explaining what he was doing, and the plan was to build the puzzle from the bottom to the top, where everybody else is like, do the outside, and because you can feel it, and that it would kind of, I don't know, it didn't quite make as much sense. I felt when they said, but we're going to build it from the bottom to the top. But there's people that do puzzles differently. Like I'm one of those. You build the outside of the puzzle
Outside
first,
in.
and you do it.
It's how it
But
happens. It's how it works.
but there are people that do it the other way, that have that visual thing. But I think when you're doing it and you're getting other people to build it, doing it the regular way of how to do it is
edges are
probably
easiest
the
to
way
feel, right? You can feel the edges.
Yeah.
So you could be like, okay, that's an edge. That's going to go on the right. That's going on the left. That's going to go on the top. It's going to go on the
Yeah.
bottom. Like, feel the edges. Like, you could just keep on saying that. And so I think that he had a poor strategy, and seemingly not good at puzzles, and not good at directing people at puzzles, because in the end, so Vati, with Lydia being the caller, were in the behind, and they were able to come back and take the lead and win for their tribe. So Lydia was the person that got them the W, and I think it's because she was better at puzzles than Jonathan was. And then Dre came in second. So Jonathan, with a huge lead, with his big booming voice, and able to get people through the obstacles, wasn't able to use that same sort of direction to get them the W.
Yeah.
Yikes. So that means that they are going to tribal council. Taku, it was a photo finish though. Like at the end, like they were very close. They had one piece, and like he wasn't able to just tell them how to get that piece in. Like they were moving that piece around for so long. You're like, he really did lose it for them. But he wasn't really even on the chopping block at all. Jonathan's always going to be protecting Omar. He says he connects with Marianne, but he feels that maybe Mariah might be better to keep for challenges, or maybe. And so that was kind of what the debate was going on at camp. Marianne, though, she's like, I'm 100% voting for Mariah. Lindsay is a little bit irritated by Marianne, and it was seemingly siding with Mariah a little bit. They even catch Marianne on a little bit of an idol hunt. What do you think about the dynamics of the tribe pre-tribal council?
Yeah, it was funny. Like when they lost, I was like, oh, it's got to be Mariah going. And then, I heard that too. That was great. But then when it was actually at camp, Survivor, you got me, you producers. I was starting to fall for it, and I was thinking, oh, Marianne's in trouble here, because the faces that they're making, the body language, I'm like, ooh, they're not happy. So I don't know. I don't know how close it was to turning on Marianne, because I kind of feel like Mariah made sense to go for. Yeah.
So we weren't fully sure. I just didn't think that the producers were going to let Marianne go this early, especially for it's seemingly like a character dud, as Mariah was coming off. Like I'm sure she's a very fun, interesting person, but what she was bringing was a lot less shiny than Marianne's personality. So I just wouldn't see her going out yet, personally.
Right.
I don't know if she said it at tribal or not. She's like, oh yeah, when they got to tribal, she's just like, don't send me to Zach yet. Like, I was like, I don't want to see him yet. But yes, at tribal, we do see what did I say? Oh, Lord. That's what I wrote about Jeff. I'm like, Lord, Jeff really thinks that he is a Survivor professor. Like, this is how he runs his tribal council. It's just like trying to like make us understand like the game and how powerful it is, and like make you understand what you're doing in the game, and that's what's happening in the game. And I'm just like, Jeff, like, they know how to play the game. They don't need you to show them that what they know about the game is them learning about the game, and you're witnessing them learn about the game. Like, it's
And the
like,
game is changing.
oh, like, you're just like, you're on right. Like, anyways, metaphors and like his analogies, and I appreciate his enthusiasm because this is something that he's also been a part of for 20 years, and, you know, getting reinvigorated each season. Like, I get that. But like, he plays it like these players are dummies and that they've never seen the show before, and that it's like University Survivor 101. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I found the tribal council a little irritating because now, I mean, last season people weren't playing the shot in the dark. We hardly had that. Like, it only happened to we've seen it now in both episodes, and the storyline going on at tribal council is that the other person's in danger and is going in some ways, and it kind of feels like they're playing us like, as soon as you see somebody play the shot in the dark, it's like, well, they probably know they're going. Like, so
Yes.
like they're not going to play it unless they know that they're going. So
yes, and Marianne did not play her shot in the dark. She does when she goes up to vote. She does learn that she gets an extra vote, so she risked her vote in the first episode, and it was for good reason. So she now has this little bit of extra power. What I thought was really interesting, and I was looking out for it because I always want to see like what letter people are writing, but they're able to write M-A-R. Even the A they could write, and you would not know
they could have wrote
Mariah or Marianne.
Yeah, I was like, oh. I think that they just should not show the, like, if somebody does the shot in the dark, don't show it. Let it be a surprise, like The Idol when it gets played. Like, let us see at that point. So then, like, it doesn't like take away from that voting part and when you're talking with whoever you're watching it with, and go, who do you think it's going to be? Who do you think it's going to be? Because as soon as they do that shot in the dark, it's like, oh, they know that they're going. So.
So how do you think it was a little bit different to how it was played from the last two times we've seen the shot in the dark played, whereas Mariah gave the scroll to Jeff, who revealed it? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that was a discussion with the producers after Zach did it. And I think that they said, we need to make this more dramatic. And so, Jeff, you grab it.
I'll do it.
So
let me do it.
Yeah, I think that was sort of the change. You know, that happens sometimes. Conch Shell in the first season, they don't do that anymore. So.
Well, Mariah played her shot in the dark, and it was a big ol' not safe. So the 3 times a dud so far is the shot in the dark. And I agree here with you, Les. I don't know if Marianne will be able to survive another tribal unless she uses her extra vote with Jonathan and Omar and take out Lindsay, who's not the biggest fan of hers. That's possible, but if they want just like an easy vote, I guess they don't even need her extra vote for that, but if they want to keep tribe strong and do something easy, I could see Marianne being the next person to go. But that's pretty much it for the episode. Was there anything else that went down that you wanted to maybe mention?
No, I think we covered pretty much everything.
Sweet.
I think we got it.
Yeah, thanks for joining me here today. Appreciate it. On St. Patty's Day. Get you back to your green beer and your Irish car bombs and your bow tie.
I've got to celebrate.
Thank you, everybody in the chat, for sharing your St. Patty's Day celebrations with both of us. I know Big Brother's starting right now, so I'm actually going to jump off and watch that. But I'll be going live with JoJo at 9:15 Eastern to talk about this eviction episode, which will be, I think, really exciting. Are you up to date with Big Brother Canada right now?
Yes, and I'm upset.
Upset?
I'm upset because I like Josh. I don't know about anything on feeds. I don't know anything about that. I'm just watching the show. But I'm enjoying Josh on my television.
This was the head of household reign from hell. Like, as somebody that was like, I was covering it and I had to do a live feed update. And so it was the most exhausting head of household reign I've ever had to cover. It was more for me. It was more exhausting than Frenchie. It was
Yeah.
a
Oh yeah.
wild ride, but
Well, it
watch
was all
tonight.
his people.
Watch tonight. Yeah, I know he's wild. And hopefully, it'll be a good episode. So see what's going down. Thank you so much, everybody in the chat. You guys are awesome. We love spending this time with you. You guys always know all the tea, all the information about everything, and are able to correct me or Phil. Well, usually not Phil, usually me about any facts about Survivor. So thank you for being here and chatting with us. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, be part of our community here. That would be amazing. Like this video and leave a comment. What comment should people leave this week, Phil?
Do we want to, like, who do you think the other people are that are going to find the beware advantages?
Right. Well, we know one person, most likely.
Probably, yes.
Okay, yeah, that would be amazing.
We'll see who's watching.
So, who from the other two tribes do you think will find the beware advantages? I would like, I want to know that as well. Yeah. So thank you, everybody.
Maybe, like, do they think it's going to happen, right? Like, do they think that, like, or is it going to be held out? Like,
I feel like it's not going to end up getting activated because, like, I feel that'd be so fun. You just see people saying the other two dumb lines, and like the third line just never activates it. That'd be very funny. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers. Happy St. Patty's Day.